It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B-Ron. Alongside me for the Monday morning show is Siege. The old SimWorld Today crew is back in the building. How you doing, man? Good to be here
Doing
with you.
wonderful Monday, best day of the week, lots of lasagna. Shout out Garfield. Beautiful day to be alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful day to be alive. Maybe a bit of a confusing day to be alive if you're a Bronny James fan or Bronny James himself, because we're gonna start there in the SWBA as of course Summer League is going on now, and Bronny James had some struggles in the Summer League so far, but there's still some questions around where he's actually going to play this upcoming season. Bronny himself says he's ready for any level with the Lakers. He just wants a chance to improve, and as a player. His quoted here is saying, "I'm just looking forward to any basketball I play, no matter what level I'm playing at. We know what he did at USC last year in SimWorld U. Siege, got those number here for you. Let's rattle. I'll give them to you. 19 points per game, three rebounds per game, 3.7 assists per game, 1.3 steals per game, about a block per game. He shot 40% from the field and 36% from deep. All that being said, though, Siege also still kind of dealing with the heart scare and all. And he's clear from all that, which is good news for him. Where does he end up playing his first season in the SVBA? Does he play it with his dad in LA, or does he play in the G League? And Bill just goes up there and then come up later on.
Well, there's only one situation where I really see it happening is he'll spend time with both. I think he'll absolutely spend time with the Lakers, getting time with the main roster. Whether it be in a big capacity or not, I would guess not. But I think he'll get minutes with the Lakers up at the SWBA level, and then I think he'll spend a little bit of time, more developmental side. But just given his name and the fact that he will put butts in seats,
Mm-hmm.
watching him play with his dad, with the LeBron James.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll get some time with the Lakers for sure, and I think that'll be good for his development. But he will also spend time, more at the developmental level of the SWBA, just kind of getting to play somewhere where he's going to get more minutes. Definitely spending a lot of time in practice. Every day, um, probably with the practice team, doing things like that. So he's got a long road ahead of him, if you ask me. He's going to have a lot of expectations put on him from the day that the season starts to his entire career, especially until his dad retires. Because until then, that's going to be the main thing everyone's talking about for a while. We know
Mm-hmm.
how we love to talk about LeBron James, how the media loves to talk about LeBron James.
Yeah.
Well,
Rightfully so.
Bronny James is ready for that, and he's well trained in terms of PR, and his media presence, has a great media presence. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that, especially depending on how the Lakers do this year, because eyes are going to be on him whether he plays a lot or not.
Yeah, exactly. So, a couple of things. One, we will know who actually watched the show this morning because I gave you those numbers earlier. I don't want to hear anything about Bronny James is not good, blah blah. He was good. He was good in college. We'll know who watched the show. Anyway, with all that out the way. That's the thing about it, though, Siege. We have to remember that this is LeBron James's son, and that is unfortunately a double-edged sword in this situation for both him and those who have to make those kinds of decisions. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, you think he'll split time between G League and the main roster. Um, I think he'll spend more time in the G League than he will on the main roster. If you say half, I'm thinking it's more. Let's say 60-40 a G League main roster. But the other side of that too is you talk about the Lakers and the kind of atmosphere and pageantry and history that comes along with that too. Um, no one's gonna want to come to see the Lakers as much. People are gonna want to come see the Lakers to see Bronny and LeBron play. You know what I mean? But I guess the same could go for those G League teams and the G League, arena and all that stuff, they're gonna want to see Bronny James play at the G League at the same time too. Those fans are gonna want to come see that, I'd imagine. So it's just how you can figure all that out. But I do think that unfortunately, because it is LeBron James's son, he's gonna have a lot more eyes and scrutiny on him than LeBron James had. If LeBron had the kind of talk around coming out of high school and people expect him to do all these great things, what are they expecting from Bronny? You know what I mean? If they were expecting LeBron to come in and win, 20,000 rings in a career, what are they expecting out of Bronny? You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's so tough to be in his position. And I do kind of feel for the kid a little bit being in that position, but I do think that he will definitely spend more time in the G League this season. I do think that even though he did fare really well at USC, I think we can kind of see there from the clips that there is just some work that needs to be done on his game, and you don't want to set him up for failure in that regard. Final thoughts before we move on.
Final thoughts. I mean, he's had this attention on him his whole life. I remember people were talking about his games when he was like 11 years old. So he seems to handle it really well. His media presence, like I said, is exceptional, especially for someone in his situation. So I'm not too worried about him. I think he'll find his way one way or another.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's move on, shall we? Because we have the most exciting night in baseball right around the corner here, because the 2024 Home Run Derby is right around the corner. It's actually tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, and there are some absolute sluggers as expected in this Home Run Derby. Bill Gunnar Henderson, Alec Baum of the Phillies, Pete Alonso from the Mets, Bobby Witt Jr. from the Royals, Marcelo Ozuna from the Braves, Jose Ramirez from the Cleveland Guardians, Adolis Garcia from the Rangers, and Teoscar Hernandez from the LA Dodgers. Out of all of these names listed, Siege, who is your favorite to win the Home Run Derby, and why?
Well, I'll tell you what. Give me Ozuna. I like the name. He's a power hitter. Dude can bomb a couple of them out there, and that's what this event's all about, right? That's what this event's all about. About a couple of guys going out there and just hitting some absolute bombs. And it's almost really the core of the American pastime. It's just watching guys hit the ball as far as they can. So I'm gonna go Ozuna. I think it'll be a fun event. I'm looking forward to it. I like the name Ozuna. They're all great. So
That's fair,
how you gonna pick? You never know. But I like the name, so that's what we're going with.
I get that. I get that for sure. Well, before I meant to say this before we brought you in here, but they are making some changes to the Derby this year. They usually start in like a head-to-head bracket sort of thing. They're not doing that anymore. It's gonna work more like the 3-point shootout or dunk contest that you'll see. They'll go up, each hit their home runs, and the top 4 first round scorers will advance to a semifinal bracket, and then they'll go from there. And you'll see a maximum of 40 pitches in each timed round. So the emphasis won't be so much on speed as it is, how many you can hit in those 40 pitches. So we shall see how all that goes. But as far as my pick goes, as much as I would love to be a homer and pick Gunnar Henderson of the O's, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to pick Pete Alonso.
You hate your team, and that's okay. You hate your team. Just say that.
That's not what I said. You said that, not me.
Say it out loud. You hate
not what I said.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Pete Alonso. Yes, he may only have 18 home runs this season, but he's got the history in the Derby to back him up. He won it back in 2019 and 2021, joining Ken Griffey Jr. and Yoenis Cespedes as the only back-to-back Derby champions. So he may have got knocked out in the first round of last year's home run Derby, but I think that again, because of that history that Alonso has in performing in the home run Derby, I think that it might be his night to prove once again that he's the king of bombs in the home run Derby.
It's what he does. It's what he does. Can't go wrong
Yeah.
with that pick there, Bjorn. Can't go wrong.
And, scrolling through the list of names here, most of these guys have, 23, 17, 19. Taylor Hernandez has 19 home runs. And I'm trying to see what most home runs is here. Most home runs in the derby is actually Gunnar Hernandez with 27. So he's entering the derby with the most home runs so far in the season. So, look, I'm hoping he can translate it into a win. He would have been a good pick. He would have, but again,
if only we had a real O's fan on the show to pick him. That'd be crazy.
Hey, look. Sometimes you gotta put the bias aside and go with what's in front of you and what you're seeing here. So that's what I'm doing this morning. Well, look, let's get on to our final topic of the show this morning. SimWorld Prep had their McDonald's All-American All-Star Showcase festivities between the three-point shootout, the dunk contest, and the All-Star game. Those were all this past Saturday on SimWorld TV. If you missed those, go back and check it out. Really, really fun event, as always. The three-point shootout winner was Jafet Towns. He hit 30 in the final round. He was unconscious in the final round. Dunk contest winner was Trey Willis from the Yacht Club, Mr. Gator himself. And the All-Star Game winner was the East. They won that one 114-109. Cooper Flagg did win the MVP of the game. Any thoughts about seeing all these kids get their final yayas in, as my dad would say, in SimWorld Prep?
Yeah, I mean, it was an exciting event. The 3-point contest and dunk contest delivered as we would have thought it. Jafet Towns, it makes sense to me he wins that. He's got a jumper he doesn't use a whole lot of energy on, and you can see that. And people talk about that really helps the 3-point contest. Shout out Trey Willis. Guy's a freak athlete. I'm glad he got a chance to showcase that in something like this. But then you talk about the game, and I mean, really, this is just a fun event. It's so nice to see these guys get to play with each other in, I don't want to say a relaxed way. It's still a game. It was very competitive, but in more of a, almost pick
more
up
of a relaxed
style.
way.
Yeah. They get to go out there and play with their peers. Kind of show off things like that. What I'll say I really did take from this game is from the Stars of Tomorrow showcase that we saw to the McDonald's All-American game. Two guys that we saw impress very much so in both of them. D'Angelo Jordan and Bronny James both looked fantastic in both of these events.
All business.
And you can't make your scouting determination too much off of events like this, but it does say something that even when put up against the highest talent, these two demand the ball in their hands. They demand that they're going to get their shots. It's a certain type of player when you see guys who, even around other high-level ball players, that they say the ball's going to be in my hands. And there's something about that you want leading your team at the SimWorld U level. So shout out Cooper Flagg, obviously the cyborg did his thing. Came right back from Team USA practices. I mean, it's just a fun event. It was so exciting to watch.
Yeah, Cooper Flagg's been really busy over the last few weeks or so. You're absolutely right. He's been going bananas. But yeah, no, Bronny James and D'Angelo Jordan, both those kids, they really did their thing in the All-Star game proper. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how those two play at schools that are going to not be demanding as much attention, if that makes sense, in Davidson and Illinois. That'll be fun to see how those two play out over there, because I think that, and I think that for all intents and purposes, I think that those are good spots for those kids for that reason, given the kind of career Bronny James had in SimWorld Prep. He might need to go to a place like Davidson, where the spotlight the eyes aren't going to be on him as much right away, and he kind of gets to focus on his game a little bit more, and earn more of those eyes. Make sense. He's earned them from us here in SimWorld Prep, but for those who may not have followed SimWorld Prep and followed his career up to this point, they'll get to see him at Davidson for the first time and go, "Oh, hey, this kid's pretty good." Is he the next, Steph Curry? We'll find out.
I hate to break it to you, B-Ron, but the recruiting class Davidson pulled in, he's going to have plenty of eyes on him already just from the jump. So, but I do agree. It is a little bit smaller of a market. It'll be good for him, I think, to get away.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Well, look, it's all the time we have for you all today. Thank you for joining us on SimWorld today, this Monday show, first show of the week. I'll be back tomorrow, and maybe CJ will be back with me tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who's here with me tomorrow. We'll go from there. Well, look, thank y'all for joining us again. Remember to like the show on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and the bell so all of our shows, games, streams, all that good stuff go live for you here on SimWorld TV. Remember, it's the only place where you can see the game, be the game. See ya tomorrow.
This has been a presentation of SimWorld